FPL lovers, it's Friday and I've got that Friday feeling. Yes, I am going to be looking at my team now, showing you my selection, what I did in between the Man United getting a battering and Liverpool getting a battering, something I've never done before for my team. Let's see what's going on and what I'm going to be doing this. So, massive Friday welcome to you all, anybody who's watching this. It's been a couple of weeks of international football. Boring for some, moments of excitement, but it's not Premier League, is it? Let's be honest. And there's no fantasy football involved. Now, before I move on to my team, very quickly, if you are watching this, please subscribe to my video. I'm trying to build the channel. I've got some ideas for the future, which I'm going to go into very shortly, possibly next week, a little bit more. And they look good. Let's have a look at my team for last week, because it wasn't as good. It wasn't as good for me. I got 40 points, 8 points less than the average. I was on a -4, so 36 points really. I took a hit, which also didn't work for me. Paul, I've changed my country of residence to Wales, even though I live in England, because I'm a Welshman, and after you questioned me on it, it made me think, actually, I'm not representing who I am. However, if I win this year and I get disqualified because I have the wrong country of residence in my profile, then I'll be blaming you, and yeah, there we go. But no, very proud to have Drycock in the corner. Right, so how did I get on last week? Martinez, 3 points. No grumbles there. 2 goals conceded. Got two save points though, so fantastic. So doing well, even though he got battered, conceded 7 goals, still got 3 points. You can't argue with that. And I think Luca Dean, he's great going forward and he's a great attacking asset, but he has lost some of his set piece responsibility. James has definitely taken some of that with having a sweet left foot also, arguably better, and or different, shall we say. Seems to be more caress to James. But it's Pickford I'm worried about. It's clean sheets. I think these boys can keep going at this moment in time, not all season maybe, but as it's standing at the moment, I think these boys can keep going, my Everton boys up there, and I think he can provide assists, but I think if we win at the weekend, we'll win 3-2 or 3-1. You know what I mean? We're not... I want attacking defenders, but if he's my premium defender, then he needs to be getting me some clean sheets as well. And I know it's not all on him. You've got to look at the team that they're playing in at the time as well. And he's going to be leaving my team this week. Justin, 1 point as well. History. He's had 2 good weeks, 2 poor weeks. West Ham, home to Burnley, West Brom. He'll be out of the team soon as well. Pereira coming back, I would imagine. And then I just pretty much bombed all over. I got my goal for him, Calvert-Lewin. Salah still returned the money, even though he was up against a stronger Villa defence, and even though the team got battered, he's still delivering 13 points. 1 bonus point when your team concedes 7 goals is pretty good going, to be fair. So he'd be going nowhere from my team. Foden started off well. I had him in mind before the season started based on how involved he was last season. So I did bring him in on the wild card, but it wasn't reactionary to that performance. That performance almost confirmed to me what I'd believed before pre-season. I was waiting for that performance first, and then with limited opportunities due to for other players due to their injuries in the team, I decided Foden was going to be could be someone good, and I think he still may well be. Let's see, Greenwood, I'm concerned about Greenwood. He could be the player I think he's going to be, but having him and Fernandes in my team, 2 Man United players at this moment in time, until We know how they're going to perform. Was last season project restart time, or since once Bruno arrived, was that the anomaly? Are United back to how they've been post Alex Ferguson, or are they just slightly unfit, later start to the season, and it's just not quite working out for them because this man's not playing properly, and he's at the heart of everything for Man United, isn't he? Let's be honest. He plays, Man United play. We've seen that taken off at half-time in the last game. I think that's going to have a massive impact on him for the next game. I'm expecting him to come back in the next game, and this man might benefit, but if he doesn't, it's dangerous having the two. And then we've got the two Everton boys up top. Richarlison went off injured. He's played again midweek now for Brazil, came on and scored a goal, stole a goal maybe, some might say, off the line from his friend over in Anfield, Bobby Firmino. And Firmino stole his celebration, but there we go, tit for tat. Let's see what happens this weekend, shall we? Right. That brings me on to what did I do between the Man United and the Liverpool game nearly 2 weeks ago now. I'll tell you now before I show you what I did. I was full of disappointment, full of regret over some decisions, full of annoyance at myself for wanting to find a strategy that gives me the edge, rather than playing safe and seeing how the season pans out. I think the experience I'll take from this is, when there's no norm in fantasy football at this moment in time. Form seems to me be overruling fixtures. Not that you can discount fixtures. For example, you wouldn't be discounting. I don't know at this moment in time, to be honest. I'm siding on form more than anything anyway. So yeah, all that into consideration, I've abandoned my strategy. I'm not even going to go into what it was. It may return at some point in a different form with different players in different positions, but I think I overloaded my midfield, and I needed more balance to my team. There's players I've had this season, when I look back to game week 1, game week 2, players I've transferred in and out that I regret, basically, excuse me, and I've just decided to act on it. So I have taken a 16-point hit. Yes, I said that, a 16-point hit, because I just wasn't confident, and the players I wanted, usually the Livesey story, I needed the team I needed in place, and I think it might not pay back this week, but I think in the next 3 or 4 weeks it will. Let's have a look. Let's not beat around the bush any longer. So here's my team by department. 2 goalkeepers, one who's had, trust me to choose Nyland over Steer, and basically his contract terminated, so I have a £4 million keeper that won't be coming in for Martinez should he be getting injured. But Martinez is doing just fine for me. He's stayed. I've basically done myself a mini wildcard because I use my free transfer as well. I've done 5 transfers, but I've had to pay for it, and we'll see whether that works out this week. It's a risk, but it's not just based on this week. If it pays out over the next 3 weeks, and I'm going to analyse this, I'm not going to do any transfers next week. I'm certainly going to be holding my transfers till I've got 2. Let this team settle for a bit. Too much chopping and changing. Focus on other people's. So in defence, I now have Andy Robertson. Like I say, it's a long-term pick. His attacking this season seems to have increased. If Liverpool get their act together, I know it's a tough ask now with Alisson in goal as well. Not Alisson not being in goal, sorry, and Adrian deputising for him. But I think his attacking returns hopefully will outweigh that. No one is buying clean sheets this season, so he is there for his attacking prowess. He's taking corners, he's taking things as well. And hopefully, like I say, against some of the lesser teams, Liverpool can play their game where they dominate the opposition's half, and he will get his goals as well. Well, score some goals this season, but provide more assists and be involved in the bonus points. His heat maps are ridiculous for this season. Chilwell, he came in with a great start, provided everything, and I've got a sneaky feeling, and this is the reason I've got him, that we're going to be seeing a big striker up top at Chelsea. I think it's paying dividends for those that have that in their team in the Premier League this season, and I think managers are getting onto it. I think it's something Carlo Ancelotti has targeted at Everton. I think it's something that Fulham are doing. They just need a striker with better accuracy in terms of shooting on target with his headers, and I see Chelsea have done well when they've had Giroud and Abraham up front, not necessarily scoring with headers all the time, but I can see Chilwell doing what Luca Dean does, basically providing assists, key chances from the left for Chelsea, and he's 0.5 million cheaper, and it gets me into the Chelsea team as well, because he's my only Chelsea player at this moment in time. So if Chelsea do start doing well, keeping some clean sheets, he's in there. And I've looked at that carefully in my team this time. Generally, okay, Ayling, he's a great option. He's there now to rotate with Lamptey. These two will start every game pretty much, because you'd like to think these are the ones challenging, and they can bring it against the top opposition as well. As the weaker opposition, and it'll be between, here's my bench fodder, £4 million, and I'll be choosing between these two. So I'm going to try and keep it a little bit more simple on a weekly basis. Their fixtures, they sort of like dovetail well together. Some tough fixtures here in this sort of period for these guys, and some nicer fixtures. Not that I'm going by these totally around here as well. So there's two options there, and these two are both attacking defenders and are going to be involved in hopefully what Leeds are up to. This one for definite. I can see me starting him more. I may even at some point play four at the back. I tend to shy away from that, but if these two have got plum fixtures and are in form, I may actually. So in midfield, I have taken out Kevin De Bruyne. It was a tough decision. I had three premium players in terms of cost. Fernandes being the cheapest at 10.5, Salah 12 I think it's 12.3 now, but obviously it's worth to me 12.1, and I had Kevin De Bruyne at 11.5. Now, I needed Son back in my team. The fixtures for Tottenham Hotspur are looking pretty good in the next few game weeks. Got a tough run of fixtures here, but I think they can still go on and do something. And he could always come a Pulisic in 3 weeks' time anyway. But for now, these are the guys I needed in my team. I sacrificed Kevin De Bruyne, hoping that maybe he's assisting Phil Foden. And it tends. I seem to see the pattern I've seen with Kevin De Bruyne is he tends to get. Similar to Fernandes, similar to Salah, is they'll have a blank or two, and then they'll hit big. Doesn't mean to say they won't hit 5 and well, because they do. They hit occasionally some of those, but that's what I seem to remember from last season, and I think that's something that Foden will possibly do as well. And he's due. I know there's no such thing as due, but he is due. A good points haul, and they've got Arsenal. It's going to be a tough game, but they're at Man City. These two managers know each other inside out. I think maybe this is a game where City needs to lay their marker down, and I think they've got a very good chance of doing so, and I think this boy will be involved. But he's definitely on the watch list for removal, with a couple of players cheaper than him, or around the same price, because I've got 0.3 left in the bank to bring in, and I needed to bring back in quickly on to James Rodriguez. What a mistake that was in retrospect. I took him out for Phil Foden, and obviously Foden didn't return last week, and James Rodriguez, 18 points. Made me very sad, that. Good news is he plays for Everton. I'm an Evertonian, and it took us top of the league, so it wasn't all doom and gloom, but it did add a tinge of to the haul that he got, and in 77 minutes as well, and he's just looking. I wasn't surprised to see him be the player that scores for Everton this weekend. It does not faze him. He's played in all the big games. He's the Golden Boot World Cup winner. I don't know what I was thinking after the stats. I think I was just trying to be clever, and I needed Calvert-Lewin in my team. And I think that was down to my own personal love of Everton number 9s. All my email addresses, I want the number 9, etc., etc. And I just think not having him when he's scoring and playing so well, and been desperate for a number 9 to do well in my team. This is me being totally honest. From Everton for so long, has been reward. It irked me, and he's back. So. Simple as that. So I now have 3 Everton players, and I have the 3 forward Everton players that are going to cause the most damage. And is that balmy? Probably. I've spread my risk, if you like, around the rest of midfield. I've got 1 Liverpool, 1 City, 1 Man United, 1 Tottenham. I've got a Chelsea player in defence, and I think that gives me a good. I haven't got any Arsenal players. That's my only sort of downside here, but I'm not quite sure where Arsenal are settling yet, and I don't think they are, so that might be what happens up front for me in the future, possibly, or in defence, because I'm looking to build a team from all round. Basically, I think Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison, I'm going to give them a good few weeks, maybe even to the next international break now, to play up front alongside each other, and Brewster, see what he does, and play off against each other and see which one I keep for the rest I'm going to do. Let's have a look and see how I pick my team then. Who goes where? Didn't expect this one to be so long, but obviously lots of changes. So this is the team I'm currently settling on as my starting 11. Martinez in goal, don't have much choice. Chilwell, Robertson. I think Everton are going to score against Adrian, and I'm hoping they're going to score for fun. To be honest with you, I'm not looking for a clean. On a personal note, I'm not looking for anything for Robertson, to be honest with you, this week. But he's in my team because I think he can get an attacking return, and because I brought him in for a hit. And if he does, I'll be mortified. If he doesn't, I'm not mortified, but a bit. It seems pointless to bring him in on a hit. There's more about value, to be honest with you, for bringing him on a hit this week and setting myself up for the rest of the season. Anyway, till Christmas at least. Anyway, I've got these boys. I think it's going to be a big score. I'm seeing goals in this game. I'm not going to predict which way it's going to go. I'm hoping, of course, as an Evertonian, it goes in the favour of Everton. I think it's been a long time, and as a mathematician, well, not a mathematician, as a math teacher, I think law of averages, it's time. Now, And I think this is going to be the man, or this is going to be a man, or this is going to be the man. But I've gone for my captain, and this is somebody I'm not hearing talked about, and very much. I've heard it mentioned once, or just as an afterthought almost. But this is where my money is going this week, my captaincy. I think it'll be a little bit of a differential. I think not that I'm doing it for a differential. I think that's just an added perk if it comes off. I'm chosen him because I just think Newcastle are a bit of a 50-50 team, and I think Manchester United, after Fernandes being taken off halfway through the last game, and still getting 6 points, taken off halfway through, I think he's got a point to prove. I think this argument, or this supposed argument, I've read his quotes. You never know quite what to believe. He might just be saying the right thing, but he seems quite adamant that it's fabrication, trying to unsettle the Man United dressing room, which these things happen. Let's be honest. Media need their stories, and Man United always sell papers. So I don't buy the story there's been an argument there, and I buy that this will spur on Bruno Fernandes this weekend against Newcastle. And Newcastle have just been a mixed bag since the season's begun. Let's be honest, they've had a draw with Spurs 1-1. They've lost to Brighton 3-0 at home, and that's the one that's making me think that Man United can go to St James's and destroy them. And they've beaten West Ham, so it seems to me they're doing well against the teams that are up for the fight. I think Moyes' style is coming through. Tough to beat. I think Spurs, tough to beat team. Mourinho's known for not losing first. Brighton had the ball and they were undone. And I think Man United will have the ball against Newcastle, and I think they will score goals. And there's I can't remember the name of him, but they've got a referee that's basically very likely to be giving penalties to Man United. Reason I've not gone for Son is I just think West Ham will go to White Hart Lane, or New White Hart Lane, and basically shut up shop mostly and look to hit on I think Antonio will play a lone roll up there come the weekend. So let's see what happens there. Initially, I was going to captain Son. That was part of my reasoning for bringing him in. But I'm now taking the fact that I don't need to captain someone in because I brought them in for a hit. The best tactic is to choose the player I think is going to score the most points this week. Everton or Liverpool, I really don't know what's going to happen, so I'm just staying away for those. Too risky for me. And for me, it's between Fernandes and Son this week, and currently Fernandes is winning out. And that's it, guys. Thanks very much for tuning in. Tell me what you think about what I've done. Have I gone mad taking a 16-point hit? Bear in mind, I'm not expecting to get it back now. Hopefully I'll get it back over the next between now and the next international break, and we'll have a look in 4 weeks' time during the international break. Was it a good idea? Tell me, was I silly to get rid of De Bruyne for Son? Should I have stayed away? Should I have kept faith with Greenwood and not brought James Rodriguez back? He's had his haul. He's going to be a marked man now. And triple Everton, is that crazy going into a Merseyside derby with only Everton players up front? I'm trying to just get the value. That's why I've done it. Their prices, they're like less than 16 million for the two of them. Is there a better combination of 16 million pounds spent up front? I don't know. Antonio, maybe in a couple of weeks' time with his fixtures. But right now, in the next 3 game weeks, is there a better combination for 16 million pounds? Will that get as many points? I'm not sure. I don't think so, and that's why I've gone with this. Have a great game week, guys. Hope you have some green arrows. I really do. I want some this week after dropping like a stone last week. Or at least this week after my 16-point hit. I suppose the biggest hope I can hope for this week is not to fall by too much or to maintain and hold my position and then make an assault in the next few weeks. It's a marathon, not a sprint. A wise man once told me. Here's looking at you, Al. Right. Later, guys.